The Curse of Powerscourt House. The Whispering Shadows of Wicklow Mountains. A true Irish haunted legend. Nestled beneath the mist-covered slopes of the Wicklow Mountains, Powerscourt House and its magnificent gardens are among Ireland's most beautiful landmarks. Thousands of visitors come every year to admire the waterfalls, ancient trees, and breathtaking scenery. But when daylight fades and thick fog rolls down from the mountains, locals tell a very different story, one whispered for generations. This story is inspired by documented local folklore, paranormal claims, and legends surrounding the Powerscourt Estate and the mysterious Wicklow Mountains. While many of the ghostly encounters remain unverified, they continue to be shared by locals, hikers, and paranormal investigators. The estate where silence speaks. County Wicklow is often called the Garden of Ireland. Yet hidden among its valleys lies a place where silence feels unnatural. Powerscourt House, originally built as a medieval castle before becoming a grand mansion, has witnessed centuries of wars, famine, betrayal, accidental deaths, and tragedy. Some believe memories never truly leave old stone walls. As evening approaches, workers often mention an uncomfortable feeling when locking the estate. Footsteps echo across empty corridors. Cold drafts move through rooms with closed windows. Some security guards refuse to patrol certain sections alone after sunset. No official explanation has ever satisfied those who experienced it. The Woman in the Grey Dress. One of the oldest stories speaks of a mysterious woman dressed in faded grey. Garden staff claim she sometimes appears at dawn near the Italian gardens. She walks slowly without making a sound. Her face remains hidden beneath a veil. Anyone who tries to approach her watches as she simply disappears into the morning mist before reaching the ancient trees. Old estate records mention noblewomen who died during times of illness and conflict, though nobody knows whether the ghost belongs to any one of them. Yet the description has remained almost identical for more than a century. The Whispering Forest. The forests surrounding Powerscourt connect to the vast Wicklow Mountains. Local hikers have long reported hearing voices where nobody else is present. Sometimes the whispers sound like children laughing. Other times they resemble distant prayers spoken in a language impossible to understand. Experienced guides often advise visitors. If the mountains suddenly become completely silent, leave immediately. Birds stop singing. The wind disappears. Even insects seem to vanish. Then the whispers begin. The Lost Hiker. In the autumn of 1987, according to local stories, a young photographer decided to capture sunset over the Wicklow Mountains. He ignored warnings about thick evening fog. As darkness fell, he lost the trail. Hours later, rescuers searched throughout the night. The next morning they discovered him sitting beside an old stone wall. He was alive. But something had changed. He refused to explain what happened. He simply repeated one sentence over and over. She kept asking me to follow the lantern. No lantern was ever found. He never returned to the mountains again. The Devil's Glen. Only a short distance from Powerscourt lies a forest known as the Devil's Glen. Its name alone has frightened generations. Ancient Celtic folklore believes supernatural beings lived among these woods long before Christianity arrived in Ireland. Many hikers report seeing strange lights floating between trees. Unlike ordinary lanterns, these lights never illuminate the ground. They hover silently. Always just beyond reach. Those who chase them often discover they have wandered miles away from marked trails. Some cannot explain how they became lost despite carrying GPS devices. Midnight inside Powerscourt. Years ago, a maintenance worker agreed to stay overnight during restoration work. He laughed at every ghost story. By midnight, he was alone inside the enormous mansion. The electricity suddenly failed. Only emergency lights remained. Then, a piano began playing somewhere upstairs. Slow. Gentle. Beautiful. He assumed another worker had returned. When he reached the grand ballroom, the room was empty. The piano lid remained closed. Yet the melody continued. It echoed through the hallway. Then stopped. His flashlight flickered. Behind him, someone whispered, "You're late." He turned. No one stood there. The next morning, he resigned. He never returned. The fog that watches. Residents living near the Wicklow Mountains tell another unsettling story. Sometimes thick fog rolls across the valleys even when weather forecasts predict clear skies. Within that fog, people claim they have seen human-shaped shadows. They never move normally. Instead, they glide. Watching. Waiting. Always keeping exactly the same distance. No matter how fast someone walks, the figures remain just beyond reach. Disappear for a second. Then appear again. Closer. The ancient oak. One enormous oak tree near the estate has become the center of countless ghost stories. Children once believed fairies protected it. Adults avoided it after sunset. Several visitors have reported hearing knocking sounds from inside the trunk. 3 knocks. Pause. 3 more. When examined in daylight, nothing unusual can be found. No animals. No hollow chamber. Just silence. The photographer's final picture. A tourist from Germany spent an afternoon photographing the gardens. His final image showed the famous staircase leading toward the house. Nothing appeared unusual while taking it. Later that evening, he reviewed the photographs. Standing halfway up the staircase was a pale woman wearing Victorian clothing. Her face appeared blurred. No one remembered seeing her. The original camera memory card reportedly became corrupted before experts could examine it. Only one printed copy remained. The woman has never been identified. The night the bells rang. Several villagers recall hearing distant church bells echoing across the mountains late one winter night. The strange part? The nearest church had no functioning bell. The sound continued for nearly 15 minutes before stopping abruptly. The following morning, heavy snowfall revealed footprints leading toward the forest. None returned. Searchers followed them for nearly 2 kilometers. Then, the footprints simply ended. As though whoever made them had vanished into thin air. A paranormal investigation. Several paranormal investigators have visited Powerscourt and the surrounding Wicklow Mountains over the years. While no investigation has produced conclusive scientific evidence of ghosts, some teams have reported unexplained audio recordings, sudden drops in temperature, and unusual equipment interference during nighttime sessions. Skeptics point to natural causes such as wind, wildlife, old buildings, changing weather, and the area's dramatic landscape. Believers argue that the consistency of local stories across generations is difficult to ignore. The final warning. Today, Powerscourt House remains one of Ireland's greatest attractions. Families stroll through its gardens. Couples admire the mountain views. Children laugh beneath centuries-old trees. Yet local guides still share one quiet warning with those who linger too long. If evening fog begins rolling down from the Wicklow Mountains, and you hear someone calling your name, do not answer. Because according to old Irish legend, the mountains remember every visitor. And sometimes, they decide not to let one leave. Ending for YouTube. Was this merely centuries of Irish folklore, or are the shadows of Powerscourt House and the Wicklow Mountains hiding something science cannot explain? Would you dare spend a night there alone? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoy true haunted legends from around the world, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more chilling stories.